hill, a white house with big windows. I remember it still. A lawn so green and pretty, chairs under the trees. Once a year in Lake Placid, you would wait there for me. The 1980 Olympics couldn't compare to step into your house, the musky radiator air from a glass jar in the kitchen high above. You brought me down a ginger cookie. You made it with love. You taught me how to wink while we were eating Cheerios. Early in the morning, your knowing smile, it still glows. Once a year in Lake Placid, late June to July, you waved us in on your side porch. Then you'd wave and say goodbye. We'd leave for home, but you'd gladly take us back. These summers I'll recall in the Adirondacks. These summers I'll recall in the Adirondacks.
Aida, thank you. Thank you for welcoming us in with that music. Thank you for reminding us that we're somewhere between the Adirondacks and the Green Mountains, and that gifts of love often come as ginger cookies. Hello. My name is Liam Batches Greenwood. I have the opportunity of being your worship associate this morning at the Champlain Valley Unitarian Universalist Society, a gathering of folks dedicated to open-wide inclusion, working for justice, sharing our idea of wisdom, and having fun being friends. That's what I would call it. We begin by acknowledging that we gather on lands seized from the Western Abenaki by European colonizers. We respect the Abenaki's relationship to the land, and we seek to find ways that we can grow in our understanding of their cultural heritage and their present concerns. I was asked by a friend last week why we begin every week acknowledging the Abenaki and our land on the Abenaki. And I had to pause and say, well, it's because many cultural forces have tried to erase them over the years. And we are being deliberate about trying to see them and remember them as part of our community. And whenever we say the name Champlain, we identify ourselves with those European colonizers who have erased the Abenaki. I have this idea that if we changed our name to the Patenbach Unitarian Universalist Society, the Patenbach Unitarian Universalist Society, then we'd be naming ourselves after that wide lake between the mountains that was called Patenbach for almost 10,000 years. And we would align ourselves to seeing the Abenaki as part of our community. Today's service is about visibility. It's a trans visibility service in which we acknowledge that our trans friends are also part of the community. And there are many cultural forces that would like to erase those trans friends or at least minimize their voice. And so we're going to be deliberate about paying attention to their voice and making sure they feel valued, heard, celebrated, and far from erased within our community and within our world. Oh, I'm supposed to do pathways to connection. Yes, pathways to connections are when I review the announcements and the things that are happening in this church and you pretend to pay attention. So instead of doing that, I realize the best pathway to connection is person to person, face to face, and seeing each other. So the invitation is to stand and greet 3 people that you haven't talked to this month, okay? 3 people that you're like, I don't remember that person's name and I should, and you don't have to apologize. You go up to there and you reintroduce your name, you remind them of your pronouns and they're of their pronouns, and one pathway of connection that you might share. One way that you participate in our Middlebury community or our CVUUS community that you could explain and celebrate, and maybe it would be a pathway to connection. You have it's a packed service. You have 2 minutes. Go. And if I could ask my friend Ali to come up while you're finding your seat. Oh my goodness. That wasn't just a pathway to connection, that was a whole network of pathways. That was beautiful. Ali, who uses they, them pronouns, is going to be helping me with our call to worship, our beginning. And Ali chose this poem.
May today offer you what your spirit needs to evolve, to expand, to unfold. May it stretch you, but just enough, not by force nor demand, but like an invitation that opens slowly, too careful to be rushed. May you be brave enough to loosen your grip on what you know and perceive, on what you have learned from fear or inherited from lineages of cruelty.
May you give thanks for all the sources that gifted you with survival and wisdom, perspective and protection, but let not your gratitude wed you to them forever. Everything has a season, a context, a place, and a time, even truths that have set you free. Maybe there are some things that have served you well for an era, but not any longer. Maybe it's time to rethink, reshape, review. Maybe you're ready to release another untruth handed to you early on, meant to keep you in line, in order, in compliance.
Your soul work is essential to the labors of love, collective and eternal. Material, relational, and communal repair are all forms of healing made possible by souls entangled in shared longings and commitments. So may this day feed you and challenge you, surprise and comfort you, that you might have what you need to be courageous, to be humble, and to let your soul grow.
May those words remind us that we've gathered in a holy place. One 1008 in the teal hymnal. The words will be on your screen. join me in reading our chalice lighting? We light this chalice, committing to see the inherent worth and dignity within every person, especially when other voices and systems of oppression question the worth of some souls and determine their dignity by failing to see the light of love shining in the eyes of all of us. There are a couple people who shine also with light and love. Kate Gridley and John Barstow are going to be talking about our canvas drive, although John said that Kate, his wife, will be talking about the canvas drive, and he's just along as eye candy.
Liam. I have to say, in light of various news this week, that I am already moved by things that have been said or sung in this service. And I want to remind everybody that this roof that we are under and the kind of liberal religion that we espouse here, practice here, is only made possible because we all participate in keeping the lights on. And that is why John and I said yes to saying we'd spearhead the canvas. We are not the canvas. You are the canvas. And I'm not a mathy person, but I'm going to give you some numbers and you can glaze over, and then I'll say something inspirational. So, technically, next Saturday, which is April Fool's Day, we are going to have a supper all together. And if anything is indicated by the way we did the Pathways to Connection this morning, that will be a really great evening, and you should all come and break bread together. Sign-ups for what you're bringing will be downstairs in coffee hour afterwards. Come find me. I have a box of colorful pens. We have received, and the numbers are already out of date because I've received some pledges this morning just by coming to church. So we have received roughly 2/3 of the pledges that we are anticipating. And the number is that we are at about 2/3 of our goal, but not quite. This is how it works. 57% of the pledges are in. Of the ones we have received, 38% of them are pledging at the same level they did last year. Fabulous. 38% have raised their pledges. I find that miraculous. I love it. 23%, for various reasons, have had to slightly lower their pledges. This is fine. We all are facing life. The canvas goal is $325,000, $354.00. You don't have to remember that. Last year's canvas goal was $280,000. So we are raising $45,000 more than ever before, and that is to pay appropriate salaries, all those things I mentioned in the letter that you've all received. So we have reached 63.5% of our goal. As I say, we're 2/3 of the way there. The good news is we have about 48 pledges still to come in. And are you fully glazed over? In other words, we got a little work to do still. But we're very happy with where we are now because it's only March.
But not for long.
So what's the plan from here on out? John and I will be contacting anybody that hasn't yet pledged, and we're going to have a lovely time. It'll either be by phone or by email. And I want to remind everybody, I got a beautiful letter yesterday from someone saying how much they want to pledge, but they are unsure of their circumstances this year. A pledge is aspirational. It's an idea. We hope you can fulfill it, but stuff happens. Life happens. That's okay. It's okay. And remember what it is for. It's this beautiful space. It's this beautiful group of people. It's the love that's inside it. It's the possibility that we see each and every one of you, us, they, them, everything. Let's keep going. It's so cool to work with you. Thank you so much.
I was going to put this in front of the podium, and then I realized that I don't have a microphone if I do that. After all that, let's see. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. Hi. Hi, I'm Poppy. I use she, her. And this Friday is the Trans Day of Visibility, or Transgender Day of Visibility. And in light of that, I am here to talk to you about icebergs. So, here we have an iceberg. Yes, beautiful. There's the water line. I'd like to invite any kids who are here to come up and help me with this. Thank you. All right, my friends, so here's my question. So here's the iceberg, and my question for you is, how do you think the iceberg goes underwater at all, or is it just floating on the water? What do you think?
I think it goes underwater, because if it's just floating on the water, it'll probably sink.
Okay, any other thoughts?
I know, I don't remember where I learned this, but most of the iceberg is underwater. Most of it is underwater. Last thought. I think that mostly only half of it is underwater, or that it bobs back and forth.
Okay, right. Half of it's underwater or it bobs. I'm sure you're right about the bobbing, right? That when the water moves, it changes how much is underwater. Okay, you want to help me undo this a little bit? So here's what most icebergs look like. Some of you may know this already. Dun, 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 dun. What? I was totally shocked. I was like, I don't know, it floats on the water, you know? So I was shocked. Look how much of it, most of it is underwater. Thank you. So, what if we thought of an iceberg as a person? Okay? So, some of the person is above the water, and that is what you can see with your eyes. Most of the person is underwater, and you don't get to see it unless it bobs a little, or you're swimming under the water, or you know a lot about icebergs, or something like that. So in fact, most of a person, we don't see. We can't see with our eyes. We might think we can, and in fact, most of us, if not all of us, I think, do think that we can, right? We look at a person and we're like, oh, they're like this, they do this. Maybe we're right, maybe we're not. So I want to pull out a couple things about people and have the kids tell me, where do you think that would go? Does this go, do you think this thing that I'm going to say about people is something you can see with your eyes? Okay, so it goes above the water. Or do you think you cannot see it with your eyes unless the iceberg chooses to show you, or the person chooses to show you, right? And it goes under the water. Yes? Make sense? Okay. Okay. So I'll hand you a card, and if you want to read cards, is there anyone here who does not want to read a card or who can't read yet? Yeah. Okay. So here's a card. So why don't you read what this category is out loud?
Age.
All right, age. So, age. The question is, can you tell a person's age by looking at them with their eyes? What do you think?
Sometimes, but not always.
Okay.
A little bit, because like if they're really tall, they're kind of old, and if they're small, they're not very old. But you can't tell, like you don't know the specific.
Right. So sometimes there are clues, right? But we can't. You both, I think, said you can't tell their specific age. So, I just realized I forgot tape. Oh, yes, I have tape. Okay. So I'm going to put this under the water. Age, you can put it kind of close to the, yeah, there we go. Okay, next one. You want to do one? So read that out loud.
Talents.
Talents. All right, what do you think? So a talent, something somebody is good at? Can you see the talent?
By just looking at them? Not really.
Okay, not really?
I mean, if you saw them doing it, but like if they were just standing there, no.
Right. You have to see them do it, otherwise you don't know that they have it. Okay, so that goes under the water too. Do you think you're able to make loops? Or just get it up there in any way you can, physically. If I'd been really organized, I would have made the tape loops ahead of time, but you folks can't get everything. So, next one.
Religion.
Someone's religion. Can you see it with your eyes or no?
No, not really. Not unless they're holding something that is like their religion, and they're holding it above the water.
Right. So not really, unless they're holding something, right? Some people wear a cross on their neck, or you may be holding something. I might have a UU pin. So why don't we put that kind of on the line? Because it sounds like a maybe. Anyone else you want to do that?
Family.
Family. So can you tell if someone has a family or where they are in their family? They have siblings, they have children, anything like that?
No, not really, unless you like see them with their family and they tell you like, this is my family.
Right, so that was a lot of unlesses. Just to simplify this and speed this up a little bit, let's say you are seeing this person alone. They are not with anybody and they're not going to talk. You just see the person.
No.
Okay? So family goes under.
Sexual orientation.
Sexual orientation. One of the kids who just took OWL, raised their hand. OWL is our sex ed program for different ages.
I think, isn't sexual orientation how they like their pronouns?
No, thank you for asking. Sexual orientation is who you are attracted to in a sexual, romantic kind of way.
No, you can't.
No, you cannot. Under the water. You know, I mean, obviously, if they're making out with someone on the street, that might give you a hint. But I said they were alone, so.
Grade.
Their grade. Can you tell someone's grade just from looking at them?
You might be able to if you know what age they are, but if you didn't know what age they are, you probably won't be able to.
Kind of.
How come?
Because if you can kind of tell if they're older and younger.
Okay. So that kind of goes, why don't we let's put it kind of next to age. You might be close. And for the grown-ups, you could say, can you tell someone's education? Can you tell if they went to college? Can you tell if they finished high school? Can you tell what their major was if they went to high school?
Gender. Gender.
Someone's gender. So gender is what a person knows that they are. So I know that I am female, for example. Where's gender go?
You can't just tell their gender just by looking at them. Sometimes you can.
How?
Because sometimes if they have really long hair, you might know they're female. But sometimes you can't, because I have a boy in my class who has really long hair.
Right. So that is a perfect example, right? Where we see someone, they have long hair, we think, oh, I know a lot of people with long hair who are girls, so I'll bet that person's a girl. But you just said, but this person isn't, right? So great example where we often think we can tell gender, but in fact, as Katie said, you cannot. How can you tell someone's gender for sure?
Ask them.
Yep. That's it. Okay, I'm going to do two more.
Pets.
Pets. Can you tell if someone has a pet and what it is? You want to say anything?
Only if they have their pet with them and they're doing stuff with the pet, but if it's far away, then no.
Okay.
If they show you it, yes, but if they're just all alone, no.
All right. So this person is all alone, so we know where that one's going to go. Last one. I don't know whose turn it is.
Pronouns.
Pronouns. So pronouns are like she, her, he, his, they, they, or maybe I don't use a pronoun, I just want you to say Poppy. Pronouns. Can you tell someone's pronouns just by looking at them with their eyes?
No.
No. So what's the only way to know for sure?
To ask.
Yep. All right, so we've reached the end of our little iceberg activity, and what are you noticing here about this?
You can't tell very much about people unless they show you or tell you.
You got it, my friend. You got it. Right. So, I said this Friday was the Trans Day of Visibility, right? Visibility, being seen, letting yourself be seen. We see people, that's what visibility is, right? And we have just seen that at least with the cards we did, most of the stuff isn't seen unless someone wants to show you, they feel comfortable enough showing you, or they don't have a choice. Or you have asked them, or you know them really well. So, in honor of that, I just want us to go away and think about that reality about icebergs and how much I think when I see the top of an iceberg and see a person, I am so quick to think, I know all this stuff about that person, and I'm guessing, actually. Right? If I meet Everett and I've never met Everett, I am just making all kinds of stuff up about how old I think you are, what I think your gender is, if you have allergies, if you have a pet. I don't, in fact, know. But as a UU, as a Unitarian Universalist, my faith demands that I am a trans ally, that I am someone who fights for trans people and people of different genders, and that I speak out and speak up and am supportive, and that someday we don't need a day of visibility because people are so comfortable being visible. And so what I wish for everyone this Friday, but especially for my trans friends, is that you feel supported enough that you can be as visible as you want to be. So thank you, kidlings, for helping me out. The choir is going to sing a song now, and they asked to actually sing it directly to the kids. And they invited you to sit in front of them so you can really hear it. So that would be kind of over here in front of the piano. So you can just have a seat. And then after the song is done, you can stand up and the kids will get on out of here.
everything is possible. We don't always tell ourselves that. Just happened to have a conversation with a member of this community, and she was like, I'm so glad you're having this service, because when I came out at 55, it was really difficult after all of those years. And so we need these services as a way of just hearing the stories that are below the surface. It's not easy. At least that was my experience. Ollie kindly reminded me when I chose this brilliant reading that it's like, well, that's your experience, not mine. And so with that, I'm like, excellent reminder. So we have two short readings for you. One I resonated with, the other one Ollie resonated with. They're both good. The first one came from, am I missing something? No, okay. Priscilla's trying to keep me on track. So the first one comes from the Ezra Klein show and an interview with Jillian Brandstetter, who says, the word that comes to mind when I try to describe gender dysphoria to cisgender people is inauthenticity. A deep sense that you were playing a role for other people. That's something most people can relate to because we all do that to one degree or another. We all have to navigate other people's expectations. But sometimes those expectations can be oppressive and limiting. So when a trans person comes out at whatever point in their life that they do, it's fundamentally about a demand to be heard and seen for who they are. I would say it is a blessing to have a transgender child. Why? Because I think any parent would agree that it is a blessing to have a child who is strong enough to tell the truth when the whole world wants them to tell a lie.
The way that I dress is not because I want to be seen as a woman or be seen as non-binary. It's because I want to be a receptacle. I want to be a vessel for my purpose on earth. When I am dressed as myself, when I am myself, then I can channel truth and speak it. But for so long in my life, I was dissociated. I was a shell, and I think y'all were too. And what my gender journey was about is less about finding my gender and more about being able to walk on the earth and feel it. Being able to speak with a kind of conviction where my words actually landed. How I got there is what other people call gender, but what I call healing myself.
We're going to be taking up our offering, and one thing that we'll also be taking up are these yellow cards. And if you'd like to write a yellow card about a milestone and passage in your life, or a milestone and passage in LGBTQIA concerns, things that have changed in our society, both bad or good, you could note those milestones and passages, put them in the offering plate, and then just before our time of meditation, I'll have a chance to share them. Our offering is being shared with Homes First Vermont as a way of caring for people who are looking for affordable housing in our area. Give as generously as possible.
This for the girl in the blue dress. I can see that you are a mess, but I still love you best, and I don't know why. Maybe it's your gentle grace. You always seem a little out of place. You shy away and you keep your space, but you can fly. But I want you to know, and I hope that you can see, and I need you to realize that you belong with me. You've been hurt so many times, you always lie and say that you're alright, but you still show off your light. You shine for me. I thank the stars in the sky every night before I close my eyes. I've never been to paradise, but this might be. But I want you to know, and I hope that you can see, and I need you to realize that you belong with me. This for the girl in the blue dress. I can see that you are a mess, but I still love you best, and I don't know why. Maybe it's your gentle grace. You always seem a little out of place. You shy away and you keep your space, but you can fly.
Thank you, Aida. You may stand. We'll sing From You I Receive. Please send healing thoughts and prayers to Jane Burton in Middlebury. Bethany Berry would appreciate that, and so would Jane. Bethany, did you want to say something? Did I get that? Okay.
Yeah, so for those of you who may not know, Jane is dealing with pancreatic cancer.
Thank you, Bethany. And our prayers are with Jane. Hannah Sessions wrote down the same milestone and passage that I wrote down, which was, thank you for attending my art opening on Friday at the Daughters Northern Daughters in Virgins. And I felt loved and supported by so many of you. Sharing art is very vulnerable, and you all helped me to be a more vulnerable and a better person. So thank you. That room was packed with love and beauty. It was just packed. The beauty of friends and family, and the beauty of Hannah's artwork, and her talking about her creative life. Oh my goodness. Art, beautiful. Karina Jutsi also says that I have been coming to CVUUS for over 6 months now, and I'm very thankful for your nursery. If you hear kids playing during the meditation, they're probably mine, and you actually have one of those nurseries of any, the only nurseries of any school in the area. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Those are our milestones and passages. There are ones that you may be aware of that you didn't get a chance to write down. During our time of meditation, let's be mindful of these and be mindful of those that are on your mind and heart. The Teal Songbook 1031. Teal Songbook 1031. Stand if you're able. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May I be filled with loving kindness. thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Part of loving kindness is looking at the time and realizing that I could read a statement from the UUA, which is meaningful and important and powerful, but not nearly as interesting as listening to my friend Elio. So we're going to skip the reading and make sure Elio has the time that he needs to greet us and share your message with us. Okay?
Hello, can you all hear me? Ooh, I have a God voice, that's cool. Hi all, my name's Elio. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. They gave me like a mic so I can walk around, which is good because I don't like standing in one spot, so this is really nice. Well, yeah, hi, my name is Elio. I use he and they pronouns. I am really delighted to be here. This is my first time in a congregation in a long time, and I'm just really feeling the love, so thank you all for the warm welcome. Let me like move this over so it doesn't do a double move. Oh, sweet, okay, cool. Yeah, I have some words that I would like to share with y'all. A bit of context about like who I am. I am I'm a student at the college. I work at the teen center in town. And I otherwise, I don't know if it's me or that. Is it me? Yeah. Oh, it's me. How about I turn this off and then go with that? Is this better? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you all. I saw some looks of confusion, so it's good to know that it's the audio. I'll reintroduce myself. Hi, I'm Elio. Thank you all for the warm welcome, and thank you for your presence. I'm really glad that you are here. We are gathered for a lot of things, but one of the things that we are gathered is to celebrate Trans Day of Visibility. And the wonderful thing about this day is that us trans folks get to share and celebrate the divinity of transness, the sacredness of genderful people. I understand, well, I had a whole spiel about sacred, which I will go into. This is my first time in a congregation that's affirming, so I'm operating off a completely different cultural knowledge. I grew up Catholic. For those of you who grew up in that faith, you may know that it's not the most supportive place of gay people. Just a bit. So it's really, I've just been really moved to be in your presence. Anyway, now I'll continue with what I wrote. So I understand that some may find discomfort or confusion in my use of the word sacred to describe trans folk. In my mind, those who defy human-made limitations and constructs, in this case, heterosexist constructs of a defined male-female binary, are deeply blessed. Trans and gender nonconforming existences challenge what we think we know about gender, sex, and sexuality, and ultimately defy our own limitations on what it means to be human. We are each vastly infinite beings and cannot be contained to the simple boxes and binaries that we force ourselves and others in. Trans transcends what we think we know, and that, to me, is sacred. I understand my queerness to be a calling. I grew up Catholic and thought I would spend my adult life serving the church. That didn't happen. But what I was taught growing up is all about honesty, unwavering faith, and love above all. But the environment I was taught it in was conditional. And when I was honest about my queerness, and I had unwavering faith that I am who I say I am, and I decided to finally love myself after rejecting my very soul, the environment that I grew up in, my church, wanted nothing to do with me. You know what? Good riddance. It's okay. And I swapped my Catholic doctrine for one of queerness. And I asked myself, what are the values I must embody to authentically live as myself? I'm thinking love regardless of earthly consequence, honesty above fear, faith in something larger than myself, faith in something that I don't yet know, but I just have a feeling that it's there, and practicing care in community with marginalized peoples. By being okay with who I am, by believing in this uncompromising fight for self, I am finally becoming the person I was created to be. I am here to share a call to hope, trans as sacred. It is difficult to deliver a message of hope these days. Our trans and queer kids are called slurs in our local schools. Trans and intersex women are banned from professional sports as of yesterday. Drag, a Black-founded celebration of queerness, has been banned from public life. Gay teachers are fired for talking about their families. And in the first 3 months of this year, it's only March, almost half the country has banned life-saving health care for trans minors. According to the Trevor Project, are y'all familiar with the Trevor Project? Yeah, they do cool work. For those who don't know, it's the world's largest suicide prevention and mental health organization for LGBTQIA+ young people. They do really incredible work. 45% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered attempting suicide in this past year. And nearly 1 in 5 transgender and non-binary youth attempted suicide. And LGBTQ youth of color attempted suicide at higher rates than their white peers. Our trans community is receiving messages on a daily basis that we should not exist. And I named this so we all can start to realize, especially for those of us who have not been paying enough attention, so you can start to realize how bad it is. Anti-transness is poisoning our country, our community, and all of us who are just trying to be okay. But where there is hate, ignorance, and fear, there are also people in every single community who refuse to let terrible things continue to happen. I see these people right here. I believe in revolutionary love and grounded hope. And I believe most in people. So please allow me to offer a love letter. A love letter to our trans ancestors, our trans elders, our trans siblings, our trans selves, and our trans futures. Hi, I love you. Thank you for existing. I hope you're doing okay. And if you're not, I hope that you're supported, resting, and eating something tasty. Maybe the ginger cookies that we're saying about earlier. It's okay if you're not doing okay. I'm not either. Many of us aren't. And it's okay if you're angry, numb, or confused. It's okay if you don't know what to feel. It's okay if you're ignoring everything, if you're going under a rock just so you can function. And it's okay if you're finding hope. It's okay if you're organizing. Whatever you are doing, it is okay. I am sorry I tried so hard to not be myself. And I'm sorry I didn't believe in the possibility of your existence, our existence. I didn't know that people like us existed, that we have powerful and joyful pasts and futures. We are dangerous, but not for the reasons conservatives say we are. We are dangerous because we hold the power to change social foundations. Gender, sex, sexuality as defined, known, permanent. We threaten all of that. How can oppression persist when white supremacy's nephew, heterosexism, is actively rejected by our very being? The trans beings whom the state names the highest threat, whom the state kills at the highest rates, namely Black, Indigenous, people of color, poor, disabled, non-citizen, and underdocumented, inner city and rural, women and woman-aligned folk, trans people with uteruses, trans people who do not speak English, trans people who are strong, trans educators, trans youth, and those of us who exist at these intersections are the most revolutionary of all. We don't deserve to be persecuted. No one does. We are transformation embodied. I love you. I cherish you. I believe you. As you are, as you need to be, as you will become. You are sacred. I'd like to end with a poem. It's called Won't You Celebrate With Me by Lucille Clifton. Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. Thank you.
Thank you, Elio. Thank you, Elio, for reminding us that our trans friends are helping us turn the world around. So if you will turn in your teal hymnal to, somebody's tell me the number.
1074.
What? 1074. 1074, we're going to turn the world around and sing it like you're loving it. Even if you get lost. Even when you're lost in the joy of life, it's still good. Elio, do you have a parting call to hope for us?
Hello. I would like to invite you all. On Friday in Montpelier at the State House, there is a trans youth rally and speak out. Yeah, it's really cool. So trans folks from around the state, mostly youth, it's youth-led, also, adults and allies. We are all gathering at the State House to show legislators who we are and that we matter and that we are seen and that we are visible. Young trans people across the nation are gathering at their state houses this Friday for Trans Day of Visibility, which is really, really cool and gives me goosebumps. And I would like to invite all of you, those who are able and willing to come to join us. It's at noon. It'll just be noon to 1:30 this Friday at the Montpelier State House. Bring signs, bring flags, bring your people. Yeah, whatever. We would love to see you there. Thank you.
Was far, far up in the clouds. You were the one thing bringing me back down. I think I cried when I told you I cared about the world that we loved and the hope that we shared. And I was never there until I knew you cared. Please forgive the state that I've been. It felt like we were nearly kin. I thought you were God, at least for a while. Maybe an angel hid in your smile. You made me feel safe and secure in the hall, with blue eyes so bright I could not fall. And I was never there until I knew you cared. Please forgive the state that I've been. It felt like we were nearly kin. until I knew you cared. Please forgive the state that I've been. It felt like we were nearly kin. It felt like we were nearly kin. Yeah, it felt like we were nearly kin. Thanks, everyone.
Aida, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So the invitation is to now go downstairs, care for each other, make sure you treat each other like you're nearly kin, but you don't have to act like my mom.